Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So we have got some racing at Cheltenham over the next few days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm going to talk about my selections for Friday now. Premium members and pro members, you've already had most of these. I think you've had all of these, to be fair, in an email. You're also this weekend going to get a 12 and 20 to 1 selections, 12 to 1 and 20 to 1 selections for the Coral Gold Cup and the Betfair Stayers Hurdle over the next couple of weekends. There's two that I've spotted that I really like. You'll get those on Saturday. That's for premium and pro members. Also, remember, it's the NAP competition as usual, but we're also running two specials. We are running the Cheltenham special for the weekend, the 3 days. Top scorer over those 3 days will win premium ratings, and we'll win premium ratings, and what else will they win? A winner's mug. And we're also going to do a one-off special as well, that if your selections, if you can get both the Paddy Power Gold Cup winner and the Greatwood Hurdle winner, I know that's very tough to do, but we'll give you ratings for the rest of the year. If you're a premium member and you win, we'll refund you 2 months if you're a premium member. Similarly, we'll refund you a month if you win the competition for the Cheltenham special, the normal 3 days. One rule for the Cheltenham special, you must have at least 5 selections over the 3 days. So remember, you can have up to 9, so we're only asking for 5. If you want to find 4 elsewhere, you can do, as long as you have a minimum of 5. If you want to have all 9 at Cheltenham, go for it. Obviously, it gives you more chance to potentially find those winners. So, talking of winners, let's hope we can find some on Friday, starting off in the Conditional Jockeys Handicap Hurdle over 2 mile 5. And I kind of feel that this first horse is overpriced. Let me just load up the odds for it and I'll show you. In the 110, currently available at big price down here, Norman Fletcher at 20s and 18s. There's a couple of reasons I think he's overpriced. Well, first of all, he went off favourite last time out at Cheltenham, over 2 miles. He went off the 9 to 2 favourite and he dropped £1 for it. So going from 9 to 2 favourite for a very similar race, it was a Conditional Jockeys Handicap Hurdle. It was a Class 3. This again is a Class 3. Going from 9 to 2 co-favourite to suddenly being 20 to 1, I think that's a really big price. Now, on his previous running at Chepstow, that was a really good bit of form when he was 5th behind Celtic Dino, Alexei, Willful and Listen to Your Heart. And maybe he just needed further. They did go forward with him, and maybe he just needed further. And that found him out at Cheltenham last time. You know, now he's ready for that step up and trip. I'd argue that his 11th place in the County Hurdle last year is actually one of the best bits of form on show. Beaten by Carges, Undawi, Absurd, Ethical Diamond, Our Champ, Daddy Longlegs, Irish Panther. All of these have gone on to win multiple races and big races, including like the Breeders' Cup, the Galway Hurdles, Scottish County Hurdles, Scottish Champion Hurdles, running in Grade 1s, Sussex Champion Hurdles. You know, that was a really, really good race, and you know, he ran okay for 11th. And in my opinion, that was the best bit of form on show. Yes, it didn't work last time, but maybe he just needs that step up on trip now. And if he does, and that brings out, you know, it gets him back towards his best, I think he goes really, really close here. And our figures do kind of suggest that. I mean, we've got some really good performances back here. Granted, these weren't as good, even when he ran a really good race at Cheltenham, but that does include speed figures sometimes, or it does include speed figures, and that obviously if a race is run slowly, sometimes that can affect the R scores. But yeah, I felt Norman Fletcher is just very overpriced here on the basis that he went off 9 to 2 favourite last time for a very similar race. Now he steps up in trip. If there's going to be an excuse as to why he improves, you know, the back to form, it's the step up in trip. We'll move on to the 145, and to be honest, this is probably going to be my nap of the day. Fugitive. I actually saw a picture earlier today of Il Ridotto winning the Paddy Power Gold Cup last year, and not that far behind him at the last is Fugitive. in the Paddy Power Gold Cup, the feature race of the weekend. He finished 5th last year in the Paddy Power over 2.5, off a mark of 152. This year, he's running in the Veterans race instead, so the easier race. He's running off a £7 lower mark, plus Charlie Maggs takes 5 off. So he's effectively running off a £12 lower mark than when finishing a decent 5th last year in the Paddy Power Gold Cup. He does have some form at Cheltenham. It wasn't a complete fluke. He then came back to Cheltenham for the December Gold Cup, finished 3rd, and then it didn't quite work towards the end of the season. Maybe early on in the season is the time to catch him. We know he's got some decent form. He has won a December Gold Cup himself off 151. I don't see any reason why he doesn't run a really big race here. He's priced accordingly. He's favourite. I think he should be favourite. I think he's the most likely winner of the race. He's nearly not favourite. Gunsight Ridge is almost favourite now. But Gunsight Ridge at his best is nowhere near the level of Fugitive at his best, and I don't think Fugitive needs to be at his best to win this. Mr. Coffee, I think, does need a bit further now, and I'm hoping the others just aren't good enough. So yeah, Fugitive, probably going to be my nap tomorrow. I'll discuss that again towards the end of the video whilst I've been through them. The 220 is the Novices listed chase over 3 mile 1, and the horse I was kind of looking at this in this race was Be Aware, because I didn't understand why he was going to be going over 3 mile 1. I thought he was a 2 miler. Dan Skelton talked him up being an entry for this 3 miler, saying there's not going to be many runners, and then they run him in the 2 mile. Like, you just got people to have bets on him, haven't you, in the 3 mile race, to then run him in a different race. Anyway, who do I like here then? I'm hoping that none of these are that good. None of these are top class, in my opinion. And I kind of feel they're not. And I'm hoping that the best handicapper can therefore go and win it. And the horse that I think is going to be the best handicapper is the youngest horse in the race, or joint youngest, Double Powerful. Double Powerful ran a really good race on his return at Cheltenham in a Novices Handicap Chase off 134, chasing home Zurich and Crest of Fortune. Now, Double Powerful looked like he needed 3 mile that day. Held up right out of the back, did run on quite nicely. And I kind of feel that his form does kind of suggest that. He was running over 2.5 last year, winning races, granted. Finished 2nd at East India Express at Ascot, then went to Kempton and finished 3rd behind Aston Martini. As you know, we thought Aston Martini that day was really well handicapped, and he proved that he was. And then finished 3rd at Aintree behind Deep Cave in a good handicap, Premier Handicap at Aintree. Again, possibly even suggesting that 3 mile trip was on the short side. So, running over 2.5 on his chase debut or chase return probably was on the short side. Maybe they knew he needed the run, and I imagine they were delighted with his run. Now going back up to the right trip and sticking over fences off just a £2 higher mark, I think is the time to catch him in what I don't think is the deepest listed race. If it was a handicap, yes, he would be getting weight from leave of absence and £1 from weighed out, but he wouldn't be getting weight from the other two, and he would only be getting £1 from weighed out. There's nothing between them really, and I don't think leave of absence is that good. I don't think he's as good as his handicap mark of 146. If he was, he should be winning this, but I kind of feel that he's been rated on his defeat of Pied Piper. Now, Pied Piper is solid, but he's only a handicapper himself. Very good in handicaps. Been to Cheltenham a few times, finished 3rd in a county hurdle off 156. You know, he's a good handicapper, but I don't feel he's any more than that. And I think Double Powerful can certainly improve into being a very good handicapper stroke listed graded company. And with that in mind, I'm quite happy with the price of Double Powerful at 4-1. Move on to the 255. This is John Bond's to lose, even with his supposed dislike of Cheltenham. He's had a Windot, which is very interesting. Nicky Henderson would never come out and say there was anything wrong with some of these horses. Like the star horses, they're always really good. Everything is perfect with them. We love them. They're going to win. But he's given the horse a Windot, which is very interesting. Loda Sud for me is a very good handicapper. A very good handicapper. Is he grade 1 company like John Bon is? Not for me. And with that in mind, I don't think anything else is anywhere near good enough. Edwardstone's too old. Matata's a handicapper. Brookie's a handicapper. Hadders is Obo's surely going to need the run. John Bon, I think, takes all of the beating here. If he went to, say, 5-4, I might be interested in maybe playing him in a couple of doubles. But at 10-11, I think he's 10-11 still. Let's just have a look. He is 10-11. As I said, if he does get to 5-4, then I might be interested in John Bon. I can't imagine that Nicky Henderson would leave too much in John Bon that, you know, he could come here and get beat. I think he likes this horse and he just wants him to win every single race. So, yeah, if we can get a price about John Bon, then I might have a bet on him. Moving on to the 3:30, the Grade 2 Alba Bartlett over 2 mile 5. You know who I like here. I do wonder whether this horse is being aimed at a handicap now. That's Great Fleet. I think he's got some really nice form. I think that effort, those couple of efforts behind Conman John, is very, very strong form. The only concern for me is that they've dropped back from 3 miles to 2 mile 5. If this was a 3 mile race, I'd be confident that they're trying to win it. Dropping back to 2.5, they might get him accidentally beat. You know, oh, he was staying on strongly, didn't get there in time. That would be my only concern about him. But I'm hoping the Skeltons are here to win the race. If they are, I think he's a great price at 11-2. If they're not, then I'll back him again next time as soon as he goes into a handicap and hopefully get our money back. Because I think if he ran in a handicap of 126, he would win. I do think that, you know, he is the highest rated horse with a rating, so I feel that they could win this race and actually not go up too much. It's all about what the handicapper decides how strong this race is, and Dan might have an idea already how strong the handicapper might think this race is, and you know, if we win it we go up too much, if we get beat we'll stay on about 126. So yeah, I'll be backing him here, and I'll probably be backing him next time in a handicap. And finally, the last race is the 4 o'clock. Now I'm going to be doing 2 in this race just because I can't not back them both. I looked at them, they both jumped out at me. They are actually top weight and bottom weight, and bottom weight is being incredibly well supported because he is incredibly well handicapped over hurdles. Unbelievably well handicapped. I think it's a pundit on TV. I'm not going to name him because I think a lot of them are rubbish. They normally say add 30 or add 40 to their flat mark to get your handicap hurdle mark. This one is +3. Rated 93 on the flat, rated 96 over hurdles. If he shows any sort of form, he could win this on the bridle. Tony Martin has had winners here before. He had a winner last year with Hamsian, who looked very well handicapped. Had a similar sort of form line in that he was very well handicapped over hurdles compared to his flat form. Again, this Alfonso Legrand is very well handicapped on the flat, over hurdles compared to his flat form. However, it might be that this is just on the short side, and maybe they're getting him back to fitness over hurdles, and then they go and find something maybe over like 3 miles with him. If that's the case, I think Fortune Demare will be the one to take advantage, or he's the more you know what you're going to get with Fortune Demare. Fortune Demare was a recent winner at Cheltenham in a Grade 2 Novices hurdle, beating Dr. Blue when travelled oh so well. And I did wonder initially whether they were going to get him beat there. And I kind of feel they were unable to. They're going to be working back from the county hurdle with him. Obviously a race that the Skeltons do well in. He's the top rated horse in this race. He's rated 124. He's also our highest rated horse and clear. The handicapper surely can't put him up much if he wins, because he's beaten lesser rivals, he's expected to win, it's a much easier race than what he was running in. The handicapper can't go too mental on him. And to be fair, the way he was ridden last time, if they do it again this time and get him up on the line, they could win the race by about, a length and go up £3. If it goes up £3, £4 and ends up in the county hurdle at the end of the season, he'll probably be a really good bet for the county hurdle as well. They're clearly getting him used to the hustle and bustle of big fields. This will be perfect for him. He'll be dropped right out the back, hopefully come through in time. And, both of those last two for the Skeltons, you have to be concerned about the Skeltons, what they're doing. Are they coming here for experience, or are they coming here to try and win the race? But I'm going to back them both, because if we don't, they'll go and win, and if they go and win, we'll be annoyed. But probably, again, both of them, I'd probably be backing them again. Fortune Demare at the Cheltenham Festival and the County Hurdle, and Great Fleet when he goes into a handicap over 3 mile could be something like, I wonder if they might even end up in the Martin Pipe with him over 2.5 rather than the Potemps Final over 3. They don't need to do that. Might they be looking to see if he's got the speed for the Martin Pipe tomorrow over this 2.5 mile trip? So they are my thoughts for Friday. A quick recap. I like Norman Fletcher. I think is overpriced in the first race. Remember, he went off 92k favourite last time. The step up in trip is what they can use as the excuse to bounce back to form. Fugitive finished 5th in the Paddy Power this time last year. He's effectively running for £12 lower mark in an easier race over that same course and distance. 220, I think Double Powerful stepping up to 3 mile again will really suit him, or 3 mile 1. I think he'll be strongest in the finish. 255 is John Bonds to lose. If we can get about 5 to 4, I might be interested. The 330, I will be back in Great Fleet here, and I'll probably be backing him again in a handicap next time. And in the 4 o'clock, it's top weight and bottom weight. Fortune Demare is the most obvious one for the Skeltons, and Alfonso Legrand is incredibly well handicapped over hurdles compared to his flat form, if he's quick enough for this 2 mile trip. Just a reminder, I've got those 2 selections coming to premium members on Saturday. One for one for the Betfair Stayers Hurdle at Haydock, and one for the Coral Gold Cup at Newbury. They are currently 12s and 20 to 1, 12s and 20 to 1. And I think both of them will run really big races. But that's only for premium and pro members, and you'll receive that on Saturday.